only one thing that is called as integration runtimes. So integration runtimes for the purpose of storage or for the purpose of computing. What is the purpose of integration runtimes?
Computing.
Compute. Now, in Azure, we have how many types of integration runtimes we have? Three,
Right, three
three
types.
types. One is called as Azure, that is a default one. This is to handle cloud cloud resources. That may be, for example, Blob. That may be, for example, Azure SQL database. Okay, that may be down the line Azure Cosmos DB. Okay, in it may be anything. Now, next we have here self hosted. What is the purpose of this one? On
On
premise, yeah, on premise or private networks, anything is available, those things. Next is we have here Azure SSIS. This is useful to run SSIS packages in the method of lift and shift method. Okay, so these are the three IRs what we have. We learned about these three things, and we need to go for next concept that's called as linked service. Linked service. Okay, now you might be heard of. Let me open the linked service section. I'm opening our document. So yesterday we learned about integration runtime. Now we are going for linked service to blob or whatever it is. So now you see the first one that's called as linked service. Linked services are connection strings, much like connection strings, which define the connection information needed for the service to connect to an external resources. If you want to connect to any database, for example, we need the, okay, in which server it is installed, name of the server, then what is the port it is installed, the port number, okay, and also username and password, this kind of things we require. These are all things together. Those all things together, we used to say connection string. Connection string. So each database has its own connection string it will maintain. For example, if you take the Oracle is the database. In case of Oracle database, we need here maybe server name. Okay, server name is, for example, RR ITEC, something like that. Then you may require here port number. Port number is something like that. Default port is in case of Oracle 1521. Okay, then sometimes people will be configuring the SIDs. So then we need the SID also. Okay, SID is, for example, I'm saying as something ORCL. Then username is required. Then password we required. These all things together we used to say connection string. Connection string. If you want to communicate with Oracle database, then these all things you should have in hand. Then only you can able to connect it. Similar to that one, each database has its own connection string parameters. Oracle has how these five things are available. Similarly, each one has its own connection strings. Our linked service also works similar way of connection string. Similar way of connection string. We'll try to create today one linked service to your Azure blob it may be, or it may be Azure SQL database, it may be Cosmos DB, anything we are going to create first linked service. Linked service. Okay, refer this document. Here we have much more information. Okay, linked service. Here you can go and you can see much more information about it. Okay. Now, if you see this diagram is super information it is giving. Down the line, we are going to create the pipelines. Pipeline internally has a number of activities. The activity is going to consume or produce a data set, and this data set is available is communicating with real database by using linked service. This data set is a ADF object. This ADF object will communicate with the real database through the linked service it is going to communicate. We'll see practically while you're doing it. Okay, this diagram is more important while you're end of my class. We'll come back to this diagram and we'll try to understand more information about it. Okay, now let us go and try to create a linked service. I'm going to your portal. This is the portal I already opened. Now, yesterday we created ADF RRI Tech 1 we created. I'm trying to open that, then launching the studio. Okay, let it launch. Now we have the default integration runtime that is called as Azure. We are going to use that one. And now we need to create the linked service. You have to create it using the manage option. So we know left side we have four options: home, author, then manage, then monitor. These are the options what we have. Now go for here manage. In the manage, we can notice here linked services we have it. Here itself is showing as help document. Always remember, you need not run here and there to know about any concept. Okay, that itself has what is linked service, learn more option is available, right? This is the help document. Linked service defines the connection information to a data store or compute system. It may be physical data store or it may be tomorrow use HD insights for the computation purpose. External big data, we are going to use it. At that moment, it may be computing environment also. Okay, now we are trying to click on here new. Okay, now we have here option called as, okay, connect to which data store, new linked service are creating to which data store it's asking. We know data store it may be compute system also down the line. Down the line, you want to use here, suppose Azure Synapse Analytics, Machine Learning Studio, Azure Batch, whatever it is. Okay, now we want to go for time being, data store. So linked service you can create to data store, or it may be what? Some computing, some computing network. That computing network may be your Databricks. Your Databricks, simple one, you can take it as a Databricks or it may be batch account. These two things we're going to cover as part of our course. Now, if you go for the data store time being, you know how to create the blob. I want to go for blob. So with blob, I want to create it. So we have here Azure Blob Storage, we have it. Select this Azure Blob Storage. Then click on here, continue. So I'm trying to create here this linked service with what? With what data store? This linked service we're creating with what data store? Linked service we're creating with what data store?
Blob store.
Yeah, blob storage. Now I would like to go for create the linked service. Blob storage means just we are trying to select this one, just say continue. Now it's asking what is the name of the linked service. For identification purpose, I am giving as ls, then underscore. We are creating for the blob we are creating, so I'm giving as a blob. Okay, I'm giving as a blob. Okay, now the blob name also, if you know better, if you provide the blob name, I think I created in other batches, I created one blob. I can use that blob. Storage accounts. In the storage accounts, I have one thing that is called as SCA storage account, RRI Tech dev is available. Just for our identification purpose only, this name I am giving as it is. This name I am giving as it is. So the blob is called as SCA RRI Tech dev. Okay, now it is expecting a description, connection string, account key, those things. From Azure subscriptions, you can go and you can take it. So you can go for the Azure for students. Then under this one, we are able to see SARR Tech Dev automatically is appearing. So this linked service are creating to my storage account. Then in the bottom, there is a test connection option is available. Test it. Test it. Now you can notice connection is successful. Okay, all you selected here is you selected what is the name, one point you selected. You provide any name, you can provide it. For our identification, LS stands for linked service. We are creating for the blob. My blob name or my storage account name is SARRA Tech Dev is the my storage account name. Then we have here integration runtime. The integration runtime is this blob is belongs to cloud or private network, or it's a SSIS package. This blob is a what this blob is?
Cloud.
Cloud.
Cloud
As
Azure
that is
service.
the reason default one we are taking auto resolve integration runtime. Auto resolve integration runtime will take the Azure as the default one. Okay. Now from our Azure subscription, we are trying to take it. My Azure subscription means you'll go to this default directory is my Azure subscription, whatever we have it. Okay. From this Azure subscription, what are the storage accounts are available? Those all things it is going to show it. Based on this one, we have one storage account that is showing in the drop down. We created only one storage account. Now you can go and you can say as test connection is successful. Click on create. Are you providing which file I have to communicate, which file I have to communicate, which container it is available, in which folder it is available? Those all information here. Linked service has any information about the container, folder, file, this information?
No.
No. That's what linked service will have only main data source is what it is a blob. That's what it is going to say. Tomorrow it may be Azure SQL database means it says Azure SQL database. It won't talk about the table name. It won't talk about the schema name, those things. Schema name, table name, those all things in next stage. Only it will go to connection, up to connection only it will create it. It won't go for the final data store. Okay, right. Now I am trying to click on here, create. The moment you click on the create, it is going to have one linked service here. This is the name of the linked service. The type is Azure Blob Storage and something like this we did it. Similarly, I want to create a linked service to the Azure SQL database. But I don't want to create Azure SQL database under my license because it's going to consume my credits. I want to save my credits. That is the reason I will use the this one. What is this one? Sandbox environment we have it. Here we are going to create the database. This database I will use over there. Okay. Now I'm trying to create here one database. Learn under this one. We are creating the database with today's date. I will create. Today is 23rd, I think. Then server name we need to provide it. Create the new. Then it is a DBS. Then 230323. Then we are going for use SQL authentication. This all story, you know it already. There is a reason I may be going without explaining anything. Okay, now I provide here required information. Now we are selecting a development environment. Then we are going for local redundancies, okay. Then click on here, review and create. Okay, once it is completed, we need to go and try to create a linked service. I want to create the linked service now. Click on the new. Then what type of linked service you want to create? Azure SQL database, for example. So Azure SQL database. Now you can notice we have Azure SQL database. Click on here, continue. Then give the name here. I'm giving as it's a linked service, so I'm giving LS, and it is Azure SQL database. It is Azure SQL database, so we're giving Azure SQL DB. And the DB name, if you want to pass in the as part of the name, you can pass it. In my case, DB name is DB 23 is the year 0323 is the what I given. Okay, now its name is optional, sir. Any name you can provide it. I am following some standards. It is a linked service. It is for the Azure, and this is the database name. That's what I am following. Now, here what type of runtime I have to select? Azure SQL database is cloud or it is a private network? It's a cloud. As is a cloud, I need to go for what? Auto resolve integration runtime that is going to take by default Azure. Now we are going for here Azure subscriptions. Now in the Azure subscription, if I select this Azure for students, is it our Azure SQL database is created under this subscription? Here two subscriptions I have. One is Azure for Students is one subscription. Other is what? Microsoft Learn Sandbox is the other subscription. Okay. If you want, you can go on. You can see here subscriptions, for example. In the subscriptions, in the subscriptions, this is the one subscription ID. It is came as part of the Microsoft Learn Sandbox. This is Microsoft Learn Sandbox subscription. And in this window, if you go to the subscriptions and type it, if you go to the subscriptions and type it, it's showing as it's a default directory, Myla VRR, and it's showing as Azure for Students is subscription. I have how many subscriptions now? I have how many subscriptions?
Two.
Two subscriptions I have. The subscription name here is Azure for Students, and the subscription name for here is this is what the name whatever we have it. Okay, this is Microsoft Learn Sandbox related subscription. Now my Azure SQL database is available under this subscription. It is available under the Learn Sandbox subscription. It is available. So directly, if I go and try to select even, if I select even the subscription, I cannot see the server name, those all information I will not see in the drop down. Why? Because under the subscription, I don't have Azure SQL database. There is reason we are selecting here enter manually option. We have from Azure subscription and enter manual, two options are there. I am selecting now enter manual. Then it's asking, give me fully qualified domain name. Okay, that means the server name will be something like this, right? Okay, what is server name? Dot database, dot windows, dot net. These three parts are common. Database, windows, net is common. Only my server will be changing. In our case, it is DBS 230323. That's what today we given. If you want, you can go on, you can verify it. I am going here, then home. We are going for Azure SQL. There we have the Azure SQL server is available. Go to the server. This is the name what you can see under the server name DBS 230323. Now copy this one. We copied. Now we want to go here. I want to put it here. So I am trying to pass it. Now database name it is asking. What is the database name? We know database name. The database name we only given. The database name is called as DB 230323 we given the database name. SQL authentication and the username is called as SA admin is a username. And password we have here RR capital, ITEC small, 12 hashtag. Now go and try to click on test connection. It may fail because of our firewall connections and all. It may fail. It's saying as connection failed. If you click on here more, then you can notice here what is the issue. What is the issue? Public network access is set to S. I think we experienced about this error message, right? So what is the solution? We need to go to here and in the server, we have the network option is available. Go to the network option. Go to the network option. Yeah, networking. Under the networking, we have public network access is disabled. Go for here, select networks. Here in the bottom, we have allow Azure services and resources to access this service. Now also adding my computer IP address I am adding, then click on here save. Okay, it is updating server exceptions, updating server firewall rules. Once these two things are completed, if you go back to other window, let it complete. Yeah, it's completed. Now if you go back to this window and try to click on again test connection. This time ideally it should be successful. Now it is success. Now click on here create. It is going to create the linked service now. It is going to create the linked service now. Wow, beautiful. It's created the linked service. And this linked service has any information about which table I have to communicate, what scheme I have to communicate, that kind of information. Which table, what schema, what columns, that kind of information do I have inside this one?
No, not at this point of
No,
time.
no. Linked service only stores what is the server name, what is the database name up to that level information, username and password, connection string basically. It is going to make the connection. It's going to make the connection. That's it. It won't communicate with the which table, which schema, that kind of information. Okay, let's go and try to create the data sets using this linked services now. Wow, beautiful. We using integration runtimes, we created what? Linked services. Inside the linked service, what is internally available? Integration runtime is available. What type of integration runtime we used for this one? Both are cloud. That is the reason Azure integration runtime we used it. Now using these linked services, I want to create the data sets I want to create it. I want to create the data sets I want to create it. Before going for the data sets, I'm making sure what is your source, what is your target. We have to decide it. Go to your storage account first. I am in this storage account. Inside the storage account, we have here blob. We have here blob. Inside the blob, as of now, nothing containers are available. I'll create one container with the name of input. With the name of input. Okay, now for our understanding purpose, I'll give the C in prefix. So C input meaning C underscore input. That means C hyphen input, let us say. C hyphen input. Sometimes it won't accept underscore, sometimes it won't accept hyphen, something like that. Uh, Container names will not accept underscores. And previously we given linked service rate that will not accept the hyphens. So we have to follow those naming terminologies. C hyphen input meaning container input. That's what the meaning. Now I am trying to click on here create. Under the C input, I want to create here. Okay, here I am going to store all the flat files I am going to store related to the LOB called as retail. I want to create here one folder. I want to create it. I want to create here one folder. I want to create it that is called as flat file, something like that. But I'm not seeing here new folder option. I'm not seeing it. In case of normal blob, we don't have new directory option. In case of data lake, we have the new directory option. Somehow in case of blob, it is not there, but we can create the folder. I will show you how to do that. I'm trying to click on here directly upload option. Now we know we have one file is available in my local machine. Browse to that file, browse for files. I have the file under the go to C drive, then work folder, then data integration. I think this is what the folder I created. Yeah, this is the file. So I have one file emp.csv. I want to upload this one. Go to here advanced here. Now upload to folder, one option is available here. Go and try to say as upload under the retail. I am saying it. Okay, retail related data, my meaning. Now go and try to say as click on upload. Now you can notice here we created one folder automatically. That name of the folder is what? Retail. Under the retail, you can see one file is available called as emp.csv. If you want to see the emp.csv, I will be able to see the data inside the emp.csv. I'm able to see it. Okay. Now my blob has one container. My blob has one container. What is the name of the container?
C input.
C input. Inside the container, I have one folder. What is the name of the folder?
Retail.
Retail. Under the retail, I have one file that is known as what? emp.csv. I have it. Now, I want to create a data set to communicate with emp.csv. My data factory, need to use this one. It has to use it. How you can make it to use this one? I want to use this data factory. Need to use this emp.csv. Need to use. To use this one, we need to create something that is known as data set. What we need to create? Data set. Let us go and try to see how we can create the data set. Okay, we are going to the ADF. Now we are in the manage window now at this point of time. I am moving from manage window to author window. Click on the author window. In the author window, you can notice here one folder is available that is known as data sets. Under the data set, as of now, you see nothing. I'm trying to create here out of my interest for organizing purpose. I'm creating one new folder. I'm creating. You are not creating, it's okay. Just for organizing purpose only, I am creating it. If you don't want to organize properly at this point of time, directly go for new data set. Okay. Now I'm trying to create here as of now new folder. This is I'm giving the name as sources I'm giving. Maybe I want to store everything sources over there. Okay, sources. Maybe I want to create one more folder down the line. I'm going to use it. This is for targets. I'm giving it. Maybe whatever available inside this one, I'm going to use as a targets. Just for organizing purpose, I'm creating the folder. Without creating the folder, also directly we can create dataset. Now under the source folder, I want to create my blob dataset. I want to create it. Select that folder, then say as a new dataset. Then it is asking new dataset. In pipeline activities and data flows, reference dataset to specify the location and structure of your data within a data store. So what we are specifying here majorly? What we are specifying here majorly? Location. So in which container it is available, in which folder it is available, what is the name of the file, everything location we are going to specify. Structure, what we have inside that one, how many columns are there. Those columns are separate with what? Comma separated or pipeline separated, semicolon separated, dollar separated, tilt symbol separated, what way it is available. Those are things we are going to specify here. Okay, now I am trying to select here first. The type of thing is, sorry, my highlighting tool need the escape button. The moment I click on the escape button, that window also closing. Okay. Now we are going for the blob, Azure blob storage. Click on continue. What type of file it is? What type of file it is? If you want, I can go and I can show you that file which is available in my local machine. So if you
Yes.
see this file, what type of file it is?
CSV.
Comma separated values file, CSV file. If you want to see the data, right click on this one, edit with notepad plus plus. Here you can notice this column is separated with the other column using the comma, So this is a CSV file. So as it is a CSV file, what is the suitable you are thinking like? Arrow or binary or delimited or JSON, ARC, Excel, Parquet, XML, which type of file it is?
Delimited.
Excellent. CSV, it's a delimited text. I am selecting the CSV now. Click on continue. Now it is asking what is the name. I am providing the name as it is a source. I am going to use it src underscore. I am saying as EMP. My source src underscore EMP. Even it is a data set. If you want to know that one, src dataset EMP I am giving. Now linked service, already we created linked service for the blob. This is what our linked service for our blob. Whatever you created linked service using your manage window that is appearing here. Even at that moment you did not create it, you are not pre-planned, you did not create the linked service, then from here also you can go ahead and you can create the new one. But mostly we'll be having linked services because that as I said, integration runtimes, linked services, as a developer you are not going to create it. Integration runtimes, linked services are job of admin job. Now I am trying to create a linked service. I am selecting that one. Then it is asking where is your container, what is the directory, what is the file name. These three informations are important. Inside the data set, we are specifying what is the container name, what is the directory name, what is the file name. We need to specify it. And also we need to specify your file as header or not. Your file as header, column names. Column names are available inside your file.
Yes.
Yes. So go and try to select these all options. You have to select it. Now select here this folder option, browse it, select the C input. Inside the C input, retail. Inside the retail, we have emp.csv. Go and try to click on OK. Wow, beautiful. Now we can observe C input is our container and retail is our folder name and emp.csv is what? Our file name. And this file has header. Go and try to select this option header. Now import the schema from the connection and store. It is going to import the schema. Schema means column name, data type, size of the column. These all things are together called as schema. Now I am trying to click on here, OK. Then you'll be noticing, OK, beautiful. It's created one object, src ds underscore emp object is created. And right side, whatever window you are seeing, this is called as properties window. In the properties window, we'll have the name of the object. And if you want to write some description about this one, you can write the description. Okay, as of now, I don't want this properties window. It is occupying some space. You can go and you can close this one by using this button. Again, at any point of time, if you want it, again, you click on this one, it will appear. Now, time being, I am trying to click on this properties where that is collapsed. Again, if I want it, I need to click on it, it will be appearing. This button purpose is that one. Now, this also making some kind of disturbance to me. So if I want to close this one, I can go and I can collapse it. Now I have a full workspace, I have it. Manage your workspaces by using these buttons, less than buttons, and these properties buttons like that. Now you can notice here, I have linked service. This is the linked service. And internally, this linked service is using our Azure integration runtime. Azure integration runtime. Now, on top of this linked service, you created one dataset you created. This is the name of the dataset. And the dataset has information of container, folder, file, those things. If I want to see that data, click on this preview data. If you click on this preview data, you can able to observe, wow, beautiful. We're able to see the data, whatever available. Some reason you given something wrongly. Suppose column delimiter, comma by default it is came. But you given here some reason semicolon you given. Now if you go for your preview data, you will see in the proper structure we are seeing or not seeing. We are not seeing proper structure because everything is identified as what? Single column, single column. Because you wrongly given what is this? Column delimiter as semicolon we given. Column delimiter, actual column delimiter is what? In the file, actually what is available?
Comma.
Yeah, in the file, actually we have the comma. So we have to, whatever we have inside the file, same thing we have to select here. Same thing we have to select. If you select something wrongly, then it won't work. Now, we need to click on preview data now. It should be working now properly. Now, if for example, you have an option called as in the bottom that is called as first row as header. If I remove this one, then if you go and try to click on preview data, you can notice PROP0, PROP1, PROP2, PROP3 like that properties we got it. And the EMP number ename is coming as a header or it's coming as a data. It's coming as a data. It's coming as a data. So you need to observe your file before selecting these all properties here. You need to observe your file and you have to select your properties. You have to select your properties. Now, if you click on the preview data, it should be available properly. Okay. Now you understand our ADF is able to access our file which is located inside the blob, inside the container, inside the folder. Right. Up to blob level communication is through linked service. Thereafter, container name, folder name, these things are available inside my dataset itself. We have it. There is an option called as publish. Without doing the publish, if you close this browser, whatever work you did, everything is gone. Everything is gone. Unfortunately, we don't have any save option. Save is nothing but publish. But there is a concept down the line I am going to talk about that is called as set up the code repository. GitHub we are going to set up. Instead of publishing, suppose off development work, intermediately we developed something, it is not fully ready, At the moment, if you publish it, it is going to throw the errors. You need to fix the errors, then only you can able to publish it. But it is off developed, I don't have time, it is already midnight, 12 o'clock. I want to sleep. At that moment, surely required here code repository required, GitHub repository required. As of now, we don't have code repository. I will talk about that one later. Time being, I am trying to click on here publish all. The moment whenever you publish it, it's going to show you the window what you are trying to publish. This is the data set. It's a new object. It's trying to publish. Click on publish. Whenever you publish it, internally it's going to check the validation also. Is it object is properly available or not? It is going to check it out. If it is properly available, then only it will be going. And this window I don't want now, let us say. I can go and I can close this one. I closed it. Now you see left side, under our data sets, under our sources, we are able to see our data set, we are able to see it. Wow, beautiful. I want to create here one target also, I want to create it. I want to create here one target also, I want to create it, target data set. Let me click on here three dots. There is an option called as new data set. There is an option called as new data set. This new data set I want to create using Azure SQL database. I want to create it, Azure SQL database. I am selecting Azure SQL database. Click on continue. Now you can notice it's expecting the name of the data set. I am using in this scenario, this one I am using as a target I am using. So I am giving as TZT DS underscore EMP I am giving it. TZT DS EMP I am giving it. Now linked service is equal to whatever you created earlier that is appearing here. LS Azure SQL DB underscore this one. Now
So
table name.
Ram, here the linked service, right? Previously, when you create a data set of sources, it was listing the linked services of different one, right? It was not
Yeah,
listing this one there.
correct. That is a blob related. This is Azure SQL database related. Whenever we are coming, whenever we are coming first step, right? Let me discard. I'll show you
Okay,
once again.
it depends
If you
upon the.
click, yeah.
Okay.
If you click on new data set, here you are selecting what? Here you are selecting the Azure SQL database. You are selecting now, right? Azure
Okay,
SQL database related linked services only. It is going to show here.
understood.
Yeah. Now, yeah, we are going for the name. I'm trying to provide the name as TZT. That means target. And it is a data set. So DS, I'm giving the name as EMP, I'm giving it. Okay, let me copy this name. I want that later. Now I'm trying to select here this linked service. Now table name it is asking. Do we have any tables inside our database? Just now we created this database, right? Do I have any tables inside this database?
No.
No. Inside this one, no tables are available. It is a empty. It is a empty database actually. It is empty database. Let me provide the password. R capital, it is small, 123, 12 hashtag. Right. You see here tables. I'm not seeing any tables. I'm not seeing any tables because there are no tables are available. Okay, it's okay. Even though we don't have tables, I'm going to decide now table name I'm going to decide. I will ask ADF itself. I will give the task also to ADF. You create the table name, you create the schema, what I am giving here. I'm giving the schema name as DBO. I'm giving the table name as, let us say, TEMP. Or else I will give the TZTEMP. My meaning is target EMP. I can give any name. What is the schema name? DBO. What is the table name I want? TZTEMP. Is it physically available inside the database now? Right now? Right
No.
now, is it physically
No.
available here? No, it's not there. It's not there. That is the reason import schema, if I select from connection store import now, right now means it is going to throw the error. If I click on OK, for example, then it's try to immediately import it. It says schema import failed. Why it is failed? A database operation failed with the following error. Invalid object name, that is dbo.tztmp is not available. In case of previous scenario, I selected this option only. I'm able to import it because physically the file is available inside the blob, inside the container, inside the folder. We have the physically the file is available. But now situation is I don't have physically the table. That is the reason don't select this option, select none. Later we will be handling that one. As of now, select none. Click on OK. Now object will be created for you. Object is created, and this properties window we don't want it. Click on this one, that will close. Can you do the preview now? If you do preview also, it's going to fail. Why? Because this object is not there in the database, right? This object is not there in the database. That is the reason a database operation failed with the following error: invalid object name called as dbo tztemp, because physically this is not there. Physically it is not there. Okay, that's fine. Even though it is not there, ADF will create this one down the line. Now we are trying to publish this one. Let it publish. Wow, beautiful. You created now two data sets. We created now linked service. You created now data sets. Let me go for menu. You created now linked services. You created data sets. What is the next one we are trying to do now? Create a pipeline which is going to push the data from blob to Azure SQL database. You see this window, very useful window. What you're seeing this one, this is your source. What is this one? This is our target. How many rows we read from here? 14. How many rows we written here? 14. So we are reading data simply and we are putting here. We are not doing any transformations at this point of time. It's a basic pipeline. As part of the basic pipeline, we are reading from the blob, we are putting into the Azure SQL database table, we are putting it. We are not doing any transformations. Okay, how to do this pipeline? To do this pipeline, go here. Then I have here something called as pipelines here. You can observe we have here pipeline. To make our work window more spacious, go and try to close this one. I'm trying to close this one. Now we have work window is no other windows are available. I want to create here one pipeline. Let's go and try to create here pipeline. And I want to organize your work. So go to the new folder. Your batch is morning 7 a.m. batch. I would like to give the name as 7 a.m. Click on create. I may use this instance for other purpose also. That is the reason I want to organize all our pipelines under the 7 a.m. maybe. Now go and try to create one pipeline under the 7 a.m. New pipeline. Then once new pipeline window is opened, see the workspace is nothing is available, right? To make beautiful workspace, go and try to minimize this one. We can minimize like this. Okay, go and try to minimize this name properties window also by providing some beautiful name. What job we are doing? Tell me. We are creating the pipeline. I'm giving the P. What job we are doing? Load data from blob to Azure SQL DB, correct? That's what the job we are doing. Pipeline for loading the data from blob to Azure SQL DB. That like that I provide the name, then I am closing this properties window. Now we have much more spaces available. Left side, you see beautiful thing that is called as activities. Activities. There are so many activities are available here. Today we focus only one activity. We focus one activity. That activity is called as copy data. Copy data activity I am trying to drag and drop into this work area. This is called as my work area. I am trying to drop here. I dropped here. Once I dropped it, I don't want this activities window also. I can go and I can minimize this one. Okay, copy data is what? What type of object copy data? Copy data is what type of object? What type of object? Activity. What is this? What is called as activity? Under the activity, what category this belongs to? Move and transform. And we taken copy data from here. We taken simply we dragged and dropped here. We dragged and dropped here. Once you dragged and dropped, now I am trying to close this one to see the more workspace. In the bottom, this copy data relevant, we can see that so many properties are available. One is called as general. We have the general, we have the source, we have the sync. Sync is nothing but target. If I say sync or if I say target, both are one and same. Okay, if you say sync or target, both are one and same. Okay, now we have the mapping window. We have the mapping window, we have the settings window, user properties. Today we are going to focus mainly these three things we are going to focus: general, source, sync. Now I want to go for general first. In the general, all we are going to do is give one name, that's it. Give one name. We are trying to do the copy data, okay, from blob to SQL DB, something like that I given. Any name you can provide it. Any name you can provide it. Now click on your source. What is our source? Already you created your source data set. Is it appears here? Wow, beautiful. It is appearing. You created two data sets. One of thing is appearing. What is your plan? Which one you want to use as a source? Which one you are?
Source
Yeah,
DSAP.
yeah. This is your plan. You want to use this as a source. We are selecting in the drop down. That's it. Our task is completed here. Then go and try to select the sink. Sink is nothing but target. Sink data set is nothing but target. What is your plan? Which one you want to use as a target? Which one you want to use as a target?
Second one.
TGT, yeah, second one. Now, once you selected, it is going to show you some properties. One of the property I am interested to make this window full screen. In the right side, you can see one up arrow mark. If you click on this up arrow mark, then we are going to see in full screen, we are going to see it. Again, you want to see off screen, click on this collapse, then you are able to see off screen. Okay, this up arrow mark is useful to see the full screen and off screen. Like that, you can able to manage your windows. Okay, now I am in the full screen. Observe all the properties and let me know physically your table is not available, right? Physically this table is not available. If table is not available, create a table like that. Instructions anywhere you can provide here. Do you have any option to provide like that instruction? What is option? Auto create table. If this option is what it is going to do is if table is available, it is well and good. If table is not available, it's going to create for you. You can see the information button. It automatically creates table. If non-existent, if not available, it's going to create it. If already available, it won't create it. It will load directly. Are you reading this description here? Can you please read this one? It automatically creates sync table if non-existent. In the brackets, that is important. Okay. Now you understand this property auto create table. Wow, beautiful. We are trying to insert the data. We are trying to insert the data by using if table is not available, it's going to create the table also. Then it's going to insert it. Now that's it. These two things only I want to explain. What is your source we are configured? What is your target we configured? Then go and try to publish it. Before publishing, with things like, okay, I want to test it first. Once it is everything is proper, then only I want to publish it. There is an option called as validate. You can click on here validate. It is going to show you any problems are available. It is going to show it. Okay, as of now, no problems are there. It's not showing anything. For example, wanted I'll go here. Wanted I'll go here. Let us say open this one. Then I'm not providing anything here. Then publish it. Then see here what is saying. Table is required for copy activity. It's showing some error, right? It's showing some error. So whenever you publish it, suppose something is expecting it's not there, it's going to throw the error. Okay, now it's okay. We understand we need to provide here table TZT EMP I'm providing. Now if you click on publish, now it's showing as okay, this is edited data set. This is new. Go and try to publish it. It will be published without any errors. So some reason some problems are available. Some reason some problems are available. It's going to throw the error. It's going to throw it. As of now, there are no problems are available, so it's published properly. It's validated, published. Whenever you click on the publish, internally it also do the validation. Internally it also do the validation. Now, I hope we are clear. We created now copy data activity. There you configured your source, you configured your target, you configured. Then go and try to run this one. Running, you can do two ways, debug and trigger. Before publishing itself, you want to run that one, then you have to go for debug. After publishing, you can go for either debug or you can go for trigger. Anything is okay. After publishing, you can go for either debug or you can go for trigger. Trigger I will talk later. At this point of time, I want to go for debug only. Let me click on the debug. Then you'll get one window. You'll get one window. Now you can notice this is the window what we got it. It's saying as name, copy data from blob to SQL. And type of activity is called as copy data activity. It started running like this. Duration of time is this one. Status is the queue status. This is the run ID. And you can see this refresh button every 20 second, every auto refresh every 20 seconds up to what? Are you able to read this point? Are you able to read this point? Auto refresh every 20 seconds for 5 minutes. Okay, even though you're not doing this refresh button, every 20 seconds is going to refresh this window so that the status will be changing and it will be showing to you. Now, what is status now? Now, what is status now? Succeeded. As it is succeeded, go and try to observe. Go and try to observe here. Input is what you given, output what you given. What is this details information? Input. Let us go and try to click on the input. What is the input you given? You given source. Source as what? Delimited test source. And what type of it is? Azure blob you given. Okay, now up to here we are talking about our source information. Now I want to talk about the target information. Let us go and try to click on here target. Now you can notice here what is the output here going on. How many files it readed? 1. Then how many rows readed? 15. How many rows copied? 15. That means no leakage of the data. Everything whatever it is readed, everything is pushed to the target. It is pushed. Copy duration is 9 seconds. It looks like 9 milliseconds maybe. Then throw 9 seconds. Sorry, 9 seconds it is, not milli. 9 seconds. Like that, we have all the informations you can able to see here. What type of integration runtime it is using? What type of integration runtime it is using? Azure integration runtime it is using. Now you can notice here. This is our source Azure Blob Storage. This is our target. Azure SQL database is your target, and status is succeeded, and start time is this one. Duration is this one. Everything information we have here. Now I want very beautiful user interface. I want to see it UI. You can click on this details button. Then we are going to see beautiful diagram. We are seeing it. Now your source is clearly saying as blob. Your target is clearly saying as SQL database. Status is clearly saying as succeeded. How many rows it is readed? 15. How many rows it is written? 15. Like that, all the information we have. Copy duration, main information, all you can go on, you can observe here using this window. If you want to send this all information in the mail, we have that option also. We are going to learn down the line. Once it is completed, we are going to send mail. Hey, your pipeline is completed. The details are these many rows are readed. These many rows are loaded. Like that, we are going to give the information in the mailbox itself. We are going to do that down the line. Time being, it's saying as rows written 15, right? If you go to your database, let me refresh here. Before refreshing, are you seeing any tables? Before refreshing, are you seeing any tables?
No.
No. I am trying to click on refresh now. Even to increase the space, I am minimizing this one. Even I am minimizing this one. Now, if you expand these tables now, you can notice one table is available. Wow, beautiful. Who created this table? Who created this table? ADF. Azure Data Factory created this table. Okay, because of you selected, what is the option you selected? Auto create table option is selected. Because of auto create table option, this table it's created. It observes this table is available or not first. If it is available already, it won't do anything. If it's not available, it will create the table first. Now, if I go and try to execute this one, select star from, okay, the table name is called as TZT-EMP. Okay, it is coming in the drop down. Click on the run. Now we'll able to see the data is came. Wow, beautiful. We'll able to observe here all the data it's came properly. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you want to export this data into some JSON, CSV, XML, would you have options here? This data you want for some other purpose, you can go and you can export it. Okay. Now, wow, beautiful. You did today one pipeline you created. That pipeline is doing moving the data from Azure Blob to Azure SQL database. Okay, let us go and try to walk through what you learned today. Let us go for the headings. Today you learned about linked service, how to create to the blob, linked service, how to create the Azure SQL database, how to create the data sets, how to create a first pipeline from blob to Azure SQL database. We learned about it. Correct? These are the things what you learned. Each one I given a step by step I given. I request you people to follow this step by step. Click on author, go to the pipeline, click on the new folder, create one folder name. In my case, I given 7 a.m. In your case, whatever it is. Okay, right click on this one, create new pipeline, provide the name of the pipeline. From the activities, drag and drop, move and transform, copy data, give some name, select the source as what you created the source in the top, select the sink, select the target, whatever you want it, and also select what? Auto create table, click on the debug and observe the output. Same steps we did or not?
Yes.
Yes.
So this document is crystal clear. The document is crystal clear. Only thing is you have to spend some time. You have to spend some time and understand it. And always I recommend you people, wherever you are working, whatever you see the help documents in the screens, click on that link and try to explore about it. Suppose today you went for linked service you created, right? Linked service. In the linked service screen, you are able to see learn more. Click on this learn more and try to read this entire help document. That gives you much better understanding, much better understanding. Some new things they created, I too will follow this documentation only, I will learn it. For you, I am here to explain it. For me, no one is there to explain, right? So I have to go and I have to read and I have to understand what is happening. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So tomorrow we'll meet and we'll go for the next things. Thank you.
Ram, I missed few classes before, so where I can find the previous classes recordings?
Everything is in our website. Everything is in our website. Go to
Can
the
you
RRIT,
can you share the link of the website in the chat?
rritec.com.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, it's asking me to log in.
You log in then. You have your Gmail ID something, right?
It's asking me to purchase.
No,
It's
no.
giving me in dollars something.
No, it won't purchase. It won't ask for purchase. It is free I given.
Okay, and yesterday's class will be in that, right?
I did not upload yesterday's class. Today I will upload it. Today I will upload it.
Okay.
So
2 classes are
Ram,
there.
one quick question. So the pipeline we executed to copy the data, right? It is using a IR, the integrated runtime.
Azure
What
integration,
source? Yeah. So what source it is supposed to use? How the linkage is, like the pipeline to linked service? It knows the linked service is to get the data from so and so location, right?
Yeah.
But the IR, I'm not trying to understand the pipeline to IR connectivity. Which IR it needs to use, right? How it will find out?
Okay, let us go and try to see this diagram.
If it is too late,
Yeah.
we can
No,
discuss later.
no problem. 2 minutes will take nothing much. Okay, let us observe this diagram.
Mhm.
Is it visible properly?
Yeah.
Now, this is the pipeline what we created. The pipeline internally has what? Copy data activity today. This is the pipeline. Internally in our pipeline, we have now copy data activity today, right?
Right. The
Okay, this is the
activity
copy data
object.
activity. Yeah, this is the object. So now this copy data activity is speaking with what data sets, maybe emp.csv it is consuming and is producing tzt emp it is producing, right? This data set is created on top of what? Linked service. Linked service created on top of what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it's communication.
Understood. Thanks, Ram.
Yeah, all are linked. Pipeline internally has activity. Activities may be consuming some data sets, maybe producing some data sets. This data set created on top of linked service. This linked service created on top of integration runtime.
Got it.
Yeah, this diagram is beautiful diagram.
How many classes has been completed? Because I just got notification yesterday about the classes.
It is the 4th class, madam.
Oh, okay, okay. And I have a quick question. For the lab exercise or just for practice, will you be giving material which has all the
Yeah,
step-by-step shots?
this is the GitHub. This is the GitHub. You can go and you can use it. This
Okay,
is the
okay,
GitHub. Go to my account, github.com, RRA Tech, there, Cloud Data Engineering.
okay, okay,
I'm using right the same thing you have to use.
okay.
Yeah, thank you. I given this
Okay,
also in the chat.
also, I want to ask, like, how is this course like? How is the flow of this course like? How many months will it take, and what is happening there? Like, did you cover
Two
that
and a half.
in
2.5.
2.5 months?
Yeah,
Okay,
I covered everything in the demo video. Please go through that one. Thank you.
okay. Thank you.